Hello. Last night was the Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival and we had a big celebration. Um, but it's left me a bit knackered this morning, so I'll do my best to keep the energy up. I want to thank my first subscriber since my first upload last week, and whoever liked the video out of the two people who watched it for an average of 36 seconds out of over 10 minutes, but we'll try to improve that moving forward. Today, I want to talk about my PhD project a bit more, since I've had conversations with my supervisor and my co-supervisor, and they've told me that now is a good time to also explore many areas, which is a bit sort of exciting and overwhelming at the same time. For example, I was in a meeting with my supervisor and he asked me if I want to study theoretical physics, if I'm interested in that. And I was hesitant, but I said yes because it is true that I do, but I've been told that I don't know what I'm getting into, and I should focus more on my experimental work because everything takes time. But I think that you should try to say these things to people. If I had to give a bit of advice from my limited experience, it would be that if you're asked a question and you're not sure about the implications of the answer, you should just be honest and not hide any sort of desire you have, because you're in the driver's seat in a PhD and it's your responsibility to take care of yourself and to give yourself the opportunities that you want. And you don't want to just limit yourself, because this is like one of your last chances to really explore. But anyway, my topic. So, molecular vibrations in fluorescent proteins, and how they relate to coherent energy transfer. So, I'm not going to take the time to explain that because I couldn't do it justice right now. I don't understand it, really. I understand bits and pieces of it, aspects of it to a certain extent, and I have studied it. But one thing I did learn recently from George, one of my colleagues in my office, in my office spaces, is his background is in physics, and I learned that molecular vibrations are quantized, which is quite interesting because I did not realize that a molecule, such as a protein, has a vibrational state because it has a non-zero sort of heat, vibrational thermal energy, but its thermal energy can only its vibrational energy, I'll just say, can only exist at certain levels, so it has to bridge an energy gap before it can change to a higher energy or reduce to a lower energy. So that's sort of the main crux of my project, and at the minute I don't really know where it's going, but I do know that another one of my colleagues, Alejandro, is back from the US, and I'm going to be shadowing him in the lab. Once I get my proper documents signed, I can start working in the wet lab and learning the specific protocols for protein synthesis, which I am somewhat familiar with conceptually, and I've done similar protocols and I've worked with people who have explained these things to me before, but it would be good to sort of start fresh and kind of with an open mind and just relearn things as if it were the first time, because I don't can't pretend to really know what I'm doing in the wet lab fully. It's been a long time. I spent a couple of years in undergrad studying mostly math and physics, like doing basic biology as well. but moving forward, I'm going to have to think about trying to balance this experimental work with maybe learning some theoretical work, because I think that might help me sort of keep focused. Like, if I have this balance and I'm not just sort of like worn out by experiment, and I have something to do when I'm fed up. Maybe it, like, if once the experiments are done, like, I can analyze data but also do theory. I don't know what I'm saying. But the point is that the what I'm saying is that theory and experiment, you can do them together, and I think there are benefits to doing them together. There are challenges, and the like open quantum systems, which is the type of theory that applies to my experiment, is what I want to learn. And I think that that's like the number one thing, is to try to integrate, if you're doing different areas, try to integrate them into your project. Like, you wouldn't want to learn like a random subject that's just far off and unrelated to your experimental work, because then you'd have trouble then you would have trouble with focus, I think. But again, it's too soon to speak on many things. But I have a meeting with a theoretical physicist on Monday that I've had to reschedule for that day. So hopefully after that, maybe I'll have a slightly better idea of what path to take. Because with actually the theoretical physics, I've received mixed advice. So I'm mainly focusing on studying and reading about my system, these fluorescent proteins, which are commonly used actually in many areas of biology, but we're studying the physics of the actual fluorescence of them. And yeah, there's many exciting things that I still feel I know very little about, but I do at the minute. In the last week, I've at least gained a bit of focus and a better understanding of what my project is and what steps I have to take in order to start to move forward with it, such as reading literature, which I've been doing and will do more of for the journal club, which I did attend and was quite nice. Two people presented papers, and I'm really looking forward to actually finding my own and presenting as well. And it's a good time to really learn things and ask questions in like a very comfortable environment. And I know that this is like my unique experience as well. I should reiterate that, because but it is important to, if you are starting a PhD, one of the things that I was told in the application process is like the people that you work with are even more important than the subject. So that's something to keep in mind, and I think I can say that with my situation, that's definitely paid off. I think the people are just fantastic. So anyway, I'll hopefully have been in the lab by the time and done some work by the time I make the next video, so I can talk about that. But otherwise, it's uncertain as usual what the future holds, but I'm looking forward to it. I look forward to reporting on some further experiences in the video next week. So, thank you for watching.